You are tuned into a special player spotlight interview on the CS Podcast.
Welcome to another episode of the CS Podcast presented by the NUC NFL Draft Bible, bringing you the names that you need to know first. Since 2002, visit NFLDraftBible.com. I am your host, Chris Shanafelt, and joining the show now for a player spotlight interview is 2016 NFL Draft prospect Josh Celerin, the defensive back out of Jacksonville University. And Josh, we appreciate you taking some time to jump on the show this afternoon. Can you believe that your time as a college athlete has come and gone, and now here you are working for an opportunity at the next level?
Yeah, man, I can't really believe it, man. Time just goes by real fast, you know. I remember my first day stepping foot on campus, and now, 5 years later, I'm here.
And take us through what this process has been like for you so far, Josh. I mean, we're hitting the home stretch here as the NFL Combine is now behind us, and, of course, Pro Days have kicked off earlier this week. I see that your Pro Day isn't until April 1st, so you still have some more time to train for that. How exactly have you been getting ready for your Pro Day?
I've just been training, 6 days a week, 11 workouts a week, 2 a day, man, just going real hard, trying to get myself in the best shape of my life. That way I could perform the best of my ability.
And where is it that you're training at, and what are some of the things that you're doing in these training sessions? I mean, as you said, 6 days a week, two training sessions a day. I mean, it sounds as if you're really treating this as a job, which is the mindset that you have to have as you're going through this process. So where is it that you're training at, and what are some of the things that your trainers are having you do?
I'm training back home in Tampa at Tampa Sports Academy, and we just been working on, the little things, man, getting in and out of my breaks quicker, breaking down different muscle groups, trying to get more explosive.
Okay, sounds good. And as a defensive back, you certainly need those, faster, quicker. I mean, you need to be quick, especially making the jump up to the NFL. And, Josh, looking at your collegiate career as a whole, I know that you actually spent your first few years at Central Connecticut State University playing in the NEC. How would you describe your experience there, and why did you decide to spend your final year of eligibility at Jacksonville University?
My experience in Central Connecticut was great, man. I mean, it had its ups and downs, but, it turned me into a man, being far from home, things like that. I met a good group of people, played with a lot of great players and things like that. The sole reason for me leaving Jacksonville, it was nothing had to do anything with the coaches and everything. I played for a lot of great coaches. It was just I graduated and I just wanted an opportunity for my family to see me play. And my 3-4 years up there, my father was only able to come to one game, and my mom came to one game, and I wasn't even playing. So I had the opportunity, to leave and come somewhere closer to home where I could be around my family and get an opportunity to see me play ball.
And again, you are from Tampa. So talk a little bit about what that was like to be back in your home state of Florida. I know Jacksonville isn't necessarily very close to Tampa. It's about 3.5 hours away, I believe. But I have to think that it was nice to go back to your home state for a year and play ball, have your family come up and see you more than just that one time in 3 years. I got to think that was really a really cool experience to kind of finish off your collegiate career back in Florida, and I got to think that it gave you a little bit more boost of excitement, a boost of confidence with this switch of scenery.
Yeah, man, it was great. It was a great experience. I got back to, really having fun again. It reminded me of, playing in high school. My parents came to every single home game, man, and the away games they were able to watch. And it just gave me a boost of confidence, allowed me to play with more energy and excitement, knowing that I had my family in the stands. In Jacksonville, it was only 3 hours away, like you said, so they were able to come up, during the week, and, we spent time together and things like that. So overall, it was a great experience.
Hey, that's awesome. You cannot beat spending time with your family, especially when those first 3-4 years of yours at Central Connecticut State, you were away from them for so long. So being able to have them come up for your home games, that's absolutely fantastic. And being from Tampa, Josh, how long did it take for you to acclimate to the winters that Connecticut had, and of course the fellow Northeast Conference opponents would have? I mean, was it tough at all? Did it affect your gameplay at all?
Yeah, man, it was real tough. It was really my first time seeing snow, being around snow, man, and in Tampa, you walk outside every day and it's 80, 90 degrees. Up there, man, it's 30, 40 degrees. It was kind of hard for me to adjust to at first, things like that. But after a while, I was able to adjust to it very well. It allowed me to grow up a little bit. And I get all respect for guys playing in the Northeast, man. You got to be tough to play in that type of weather, man.
Yeah, oh, no doubt about it. It could get rough in the Northeast, and I'm actually in the Midwest in Chicago, Josh, and I was actually down in Tampa, down in St. Pete, about a month, 5 weeks ago, covering the East-West Shrine game, and, here I am. It's about 68, 70 degrees. I'm walking around in a T-shirt and shorts, and I literally have people yelling out of their vehicles saying that I'm crazy, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I mean, me being from Chicago, I'm leaving 5-degree weather and going up to 68, 70 degrees. I mean, it was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, man, the weather's great down here. Anytime it gets below 50 degrees, man, you see people wearing jackets and coats and, cold at all.
Right. Yeah, no doubt about that. No doubt about that. Once again, he is the 2016 NFL draft prospect, Josh Celerin, the defensive back out of Jacksonville University, formerly of Central Connecticut State University, joining me here on the CS podcast, presented by the NUC NFL Draft Bible, bringing you the names that you need to know first. Since 2002, visit NFLDraftBible.com. And, Josh, you were really able to put together a really nice senior season at Jacksonville. You recorded 63 tackles, 8.5 tackles for loss, 7 pass breakups, 2 forced fumbles, and an interception. When you first decided to transfer to Jacksonville, was one of the starting safety spots or one of the spots there in the defensive backfield, was it just handed to you? Did you have to battle for it? Was there a battle for one of the spots there? I mean, how did that go? And was it difficult at all to learn a new playbook and build chemistry with your new teammates, knowing that you're only going to be there for one season?
Well, when I first transferred there, it wasn't handed to me, but they also told me I had an opportunity to compete. If I competed well, I'd have opportunity to earn a starting job. So coming in, I was a 2. Pretty much the whole training camp and things like that. And I believe the third or fourth scrimmage, I was able to get reps with the ones, and I just took advantage of it. It wasn't too difficult learning the system. I try to become more of a student of the game. So I spent a lot of downtime, just trying to learn the terminology and get more deep into my playbook and things like that. And the system, man, playing in that defense, I was just a great fit for it. My teammates were great teammates, man. I just felt like I was able to fit in. And it wasn't difficult at all to, interact with those guys. There's a lot of great players in Jacksonville. So, it was a great experience for me, and I was able to fit in very well.
Okay, and I did notice while watching some of your film this morning, Josh, that you can play all over. I mean, I'm calling you here a defensive back, and I really mean that because not only can you play corner, safety, nickel, you can play in the box. Just looking at your film, and really that's just the senior year alone, I was able to peek at some of the junior film as well. Is that something that you kind of take pride in and feel that you can do at the next level in terms of versatility, or are you looking to just focus on one position as you look to make the big jump to the pro game?
Definitely. It's something I take very, very, very much pride in. I feel like my athleticism, to play safety, to play nickel, to play inside the box, to play over the slide and play man coverage and things like that. I'm able to do a lot of different things, pretty much anything a coach asks me to do. And it's something I'm looking forward to do at the next level. If someone wants me to play corner or safety, I'm able to do it and take very much pride in it.
Okay, and being a smaller school prospect, I mean, obviously the NFL draft is April 28th. It's coming right around the corner. It looks as if, as of right now, you may be a late-round prospect to one of those priority free agents following the draft. And obviously, coming from a smaller school is a big part in that. How important is it to you, or are you willing to play special teams? I mean, is that something that you also take pride in as well?
Definitely, I take pride in it. I played a little bit of special teams early in the season this year. You know, I'm very familiar with it. In my early years at Central Connecticut State, that's pretty much all I played. You know, kickoff return, punt, things like that. So, you know, I take pride in special teams, and it's something I'm willing to do in the future. You know, I could, you know, show my talent there as well.
All right, sounds great. And so we touched on your versatility. What exactly would you say is your biggest strength as a defensive back, and what is one thing that you feel that you could still work on to get better at?
Honestly, man, I think my biggest strength is my athleticism, like we talked about before, my versatility, just to be able to play all over the place and things like that. And also just trying to be a student of the game, trying to learn more. You know, I'm always looking to get better and learn different things about the defense. Anything I could get over my opponent, you know, I'm definitely going to take advantage of that. My biggest weakness or something I could probably work on, you know, you can always improve on a lot of things, but right now it's probably just getting in and out of my breaks quicker and faster. In my career, I only had 2 interceptions, so, you know, just being able to play the ball a little bit better and get to the ball, hopefully in the future, you know, rack up some more interceptions and things like that, more turnovers.
Okay. And you mentioned that as, you know, a part of one of your strengths is, you know, being able to be a student of the game, knowing that, you know, there's always room to improve. It's quite refreshing to hear that. I mean, I got to say, I talk to, you know, around 100, 125 prospects a year, and I'll fully admit that it's not every interview you hear somebody say, you know, hey, I know there's always room for improvement. I know I don't know everything about the game or my position alone, and that, you know, you're willing to learn, and that's a really big thing. I think a lot of something that a lot of coaches and scouts, I'm sure, would love to hear. Next one, is there any questions about your game that you would like to answer? I mean, is there anything that you want to prove to the scouts that'll be in attendance to your pro day?
You know, I just want to be able to prove that I can compete, you know, with the best of the best. I know I went to a small school and things like that. You know, if there's anything I want to say, I just want to say, you know, I just want an opportunity to be able to compete with the best of the best from around the country and prove, you know, that I can play at that level.
Once again, he is Josh Celerin, the defensive back out of Jacksonville University, joining me here on the CS podcast, presented by the NUC NFL Draft Bible as he gets set for the 2016 NFL Draft. And Josh, can you give us your current height and weight?
My height and weight right now, I'm at 6'205".
Okay, 6'205". That's great measurement, especially for a defensive back, especially because now that the game has turned in, or at least the NFL has turned into such a passing league, teams are looking for the 6 foot or up defensive backs. It seems like more than ever nowadays. And as I mentioned earlier in the interview, Josh, the pro day circuit has begun. Can you give us an update as to not when and where you're training at, but what exactly your goals are for your pro day? I mean, is there any specific numbers that you would like to hit?
I definitely want to running the 4.4s. Definitely, I want to be able to show that I have some speed, to run against those fast guys and things like that. Also my quickness, in 3-cone and three-cone shuttle and things like that. Just be able to show that I could move real quick laterally, things like that.
And here's a question that I do ask quite often, because a lot of times I do talk to a lot of these smaller school prospects, and certainly it's not impossible for a guy like yourself coming from Central Connecticut State or coming from Jacksonville University to make it to the league. We've seen it done before, and obviously it can certainly be done again. But when did you sit down and decide that you're really going to give this NFL thing a shot? I mean, again, I'm sure it's always the dream for anybody, whether they're playing big-time D1 or D2, D3, to make it to the professional level. But when did you decide that you're going to give this thing all that you had?
Oh man, it's always been a big dream of mine. Growing up, having an opportunity to play at the NFL level. But I guess once I got older, once I began to get a lot more playing time at Central Connecticut State, and once I was able to graduate, it's something that I wanted to turn into a reality. So I would say within the past year and a half, 2 years, I realized that I could play at the next level and wanted to take advantage of it if I had the opportunity.
Okay. And looking back 5-10 years from now, let's say you're a veteran in the NFL. What would you say is the first play that popped into mind when looking at your collegiate career? I mean, what would you say is the most memorable play that you've made or been a part of over the last 4 years?
I would have to say probably my first career interception at Central Connecticut State, just for the fact that my father, some of my family members were in attendance at that game. They never really got a chance to see me play. So just having them in the stands and I was able to get my first career interception, that was a great feeling.
Oh, that's really cool, especially as you said. I mean, it was rarely when they were able to come up to Connecticut to see you play, and then obviously going to Jacksonville University, they were able to come all the time. But for your first interception to come at a game with your family there in attendance, again, I'm sure it doesn't come much better than that. Who would you say is the best player that you've had to go up against over the last 4 years? I mean, is there anybody specific that comes to mind that you knew that, going into that week, going into that game, it was going to be a dogfight?
It's a tough one, man. Can I say one of my teammates?
All right. I'll let you slide with one of your teammates. Go for it.
I have to say Rob Holloman, man. I played with him at Central Connecticut State, and he was just a great player, man. He was what we call, in football terms, a dog. He wasn't the biggest guy, but he played with a lot of heart. He was fast, and he was a real good player. Okay,
yeah, absolutely. Rob Holloman, a former guest of the show. Rob Holloman, the former running back, of course, there at Central Connecticut State University. Yeah, certainly not a big guy, but that's when they say, you can't measure heart, and I think that goes perfectly with a guy like Rob Holloman. All right, sounds good. Now, Josh, we're going to end this interview with something that I like to call the 2-minute drill. Some of these questions will be football related, and some will be random questions just about anything. You ready to knock some of these out?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll start off with something pretty easy. What would you say is your favorite TV show and movie?
Favorite TV show would probably have to be Martin, man. It's a classic. I can't go wrong with that one. Favorite movie, Friday Night Lights, Boobie Miles, man. Friday Night Lights.
Okay. I like it. Who would you say you model your game after?
I mean, there's a lot of guys I watch. Going back to versatility, someone that, I watched since college was Tyrann Mathieu, just his ability, to play inside the box, to play man coverage, to play safety, corner, and things like that. Some of the same stuff I could do at the next level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and obviously one of the top defensive players in the NFL nowadays, only into his, third season in the NFL, and as you mentioned, a very versatile defensive back that can not only play cornerback, safety, nickel, but he has an impact on all three of those positions. I mean, he plays above average at all three of those positions, which is absolutely insane. Let's say you had a round-trip plane ticket to travel anywhere you wanted. Where you headed?
Wow. It's got to be a good one. Man, I always wanted to go to the island somewhere, man. Maybe I'm going to just throw something out there. Puerto Rico or something like that.
Okay. Hey, you cannot go wrong with it. I mean, any island, anywhere, sounds good to me. Puerto Rico, sounds great to me. Let's say you're able to go one-on-one with any wide receiver currently playing in the NFL or has played in the NFL in the past. Maybe they're retired. Who would that one receiver be?
Currently in the NFL, I would have to say Antonio Brown, man. I feel like he's one of the best receivers in the NFL. I want to compete against the best compete against the best of the best. So I have to say Antonio Brown.
Okay. It's funny. My last guest, Mackinton Dorleon, the defensive back out of Northern Iowa, he also said Antonio Brown, and you can make an argument that Brown is the top receiver in the NFL today, and I don't think there's anybody that would argue with you in saying that he's the best route runner in the NFL. So Antonio Brown, a great choice. And final question for you, Josh. We appreciate you taking some time this afternoon. Let's say we got all 32 NFL general managers lined up. They're listening to this very interview. Why should they want the defensive back out of Jacksonville University, Josh Celerin, a part of their team?
They're going to get someone who's really going to work hard, man. I've been I look at myself as an underdog. I've been an underdog my whole life. And coming from a small school, I just want to be able to prove that I could play against the best of the best, and I'm able to compete with any time and any place. They're also going to get a great kid, who's willing to work hard, just takes pride in everything he does and is asked to do.
Well, Josh, again, we appreciate you taking some time this afternoon. It was a pleasure chatting with you. Congrats on all the success, and here's to even more success as you continue to gear up for that April 1st Pro Day and, of course, the 2016 NFL Draft, which kicks off April 28th. Thanks a lot, Josh.
All right, thanks, man. Thanks for having me.